Hei, hei. Velkommen tilbake. Takk for sist. Håper alt går bra for alle. Welcome back. Thank you for the last time. And I told you I'm going to try and keep up on this a little more. Sorry. Things are shifting in my shed, apparently. I mentioned this last time, but my son and daughter, Braden and Hannah, kind of built this for me. I dig it. It's really cool. And Hannah got me this little fireplace, so it's quite frigid out tonight. You can see my breath. I've had the little fireplace on for a while. I actually have a propane heater right here too, but I didn't realize I was out of propane. So it's a little chilly, but keeps you awake and, keeps you alert. So, skål. So, I thought I would tell a story again. This is about Norway. Of course, but it goes way back to when I was 12 years old. I just turned 12, actually. So my parents were just here visiting for Thanksgiving from Canada. That's where we moved when we moved from Norway, was to Canada, and they live up in Calgary, Alberta, and they're both 81, and they're just badasses because they decided to drive down. Winter be damned, they're coming. And we had a great time with them, but we reminisce and talk whenever we're together. I love hanging out with my parents. My dad and my son and I hot tubbed a couple of nights together, and it was just a great time. It was so fun. I just love family. I love friends, and we're really blessed in both areas. I'm really close with my parents, and they're just cool people. And they're 81, but you would never guess it. In fact, there are people that ask my dad who's the older of the two of us, which kind of pisses me off, frankly. It's like, he's 21 years older than me. What the hell? But he looks freaking good. He still plays pickleball twice a week. He goes swimming all the time, and he's in great shape. But so this story I'm going to tell, I actually asked my mom about this because, I was 12 years old. It's almost 50 years ago. It was the Christmas of 1975. And growing up, after we left Norway, I went back with my parents when I was 8 and visited for quite a while. I don't remember, I'm guessing 2-3 weeks. I don't remember exactly. And then when I was 12, they took all of us back. So at that point, all the brothers were born. My little sister wasn't born yet, but we ranged in age from a baby all the way up to me. I was 12. Just turned 12. But so I asked my mom about this trip because I remember hey Espeland, kom och besöka. My puppy coming to say hi. I remember this memory stands out so strongly in my memory. That makes sense. Memory would stand out in your memory, right? And it was just such an incredible vacation. I've mentioned before that my mom has 10 siblings, my dad has 4, and they all live in Norway. So all my cousins live in Norway, except one. One moved to Houston a few years ago. Lisa, hej. Hvis du ser på dette, så hilse. But she lives in Houston. The rest are all in Norway, and I've never counted, but it's got to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 or 40 cousins. I'm the oldest one on my mom's side, and I think I'm the second oldest on my dad's side. And this sibling group is pretty amazing because my mom, there's 11 kids, and the first one, my Aunt Esther, just passed away a couple months ago I think she was 84, had cancer, but they're all still going until that point. There's still 10 of them. The oldest is 90 now, and they're all still pretty amazing shape. So hopefully those genes got passed down to me, and I'll live a long, healthy life. But yeah, so when we went back, my bestemor, grandma, lived out in the country. There's Stavanger is where we fly into, and then we would back then you take the ferry across. Now they have an under ocean tunnel, which kind of freaks me out, but there's you take the ferry over to Tau, T-A-U, Tau, and we would go visit my family that lived out in, there's a little town called Hjelmeland. I think it's about a 45-minute to an hour drive from Tau to Hjelmeland. And then outside, Hjelmeland's a small town of, can't be more than a few thousand people. And then outside of that, a couple miles, is a little, it's not a town, it's like a group of houses. It's called Espeland, which is my mom's maiden name. My grandparents' name was Espeland. Johanna Rasmus Espeland. And it's this really pretty little, you drive up the mountain on this little tiny road with this creek running down beside it. I walked down it many times. And it's just really pretty. And then you come into this kind of open area, and there's some pig farms, and my uncle has sheep. And funny story, for some reason I like the smell of pig crap, because when I go up there, if the wind's blowing right, there's this big pig barn, and giant pigs, like, I don't know, 700-800 pound pigs. And the smell will waft towards you if the wind's blowing right. And it's not a pleasant smell, but it makes me think of there. So there's something about it that I kind of dig. So you come into this, I have to see if I can find a picture and stick it up here somewhere. But it's a really pretty area, and there's like a gently rolling hill that goes down to the creek from my grandma's house. And like I said, we were there for the Christmas holidays. But the one thing there's several things, and I'll mention them, that stand out, but the foremost one was the Christmas tree. So it's kind of tradition. I don't know if they still do this in Norway, because I don't live there anymore, obviously. I'm sure some people do, but they put candles about that tall on the trees. And of course everything is electric now, but back in the day a lot of people actually burned candles, which seems like a crazy fire hazard, but whatever. And I assumed that the candles that were on my grandma's best and most Christmas tree in 1975 were electric, and I still think they were. But my mom says they were actual real candles. So, but I remember them. In fact, I've always wanted to find a set of those. We have 2 Christmas trees in our house. They're both set up now, and we dedicate one to being our Norwegian tree. I love blue Christmas lights, and I love Norway. So my wife decorates this. It's a silver tree with blue lights, and then the Norwegian flags, and then these little Norwegian doll ornaments. And so I'll try and remember to put a picture of that tree up here. It's very cool. It makes me feel just the warm and fuzzies. Seeing the Norwegian flag always warms my heart. But I remember this tree so clearly. It was just beautiful. And we got together with all my cousins at Christmas, and it was just my favorite Christmas ever. And in Norway, they celebrate Christmas on Christmas Eve. So the way it worked in my house, and I think for a lot of Norwegians, is the morning of the 24th is when we would get our stocking. So not the morning of the 25th. The morning of the 24th, we would get our stocking, and then, all day we'd play. My mom would be getting dinner ready, and we have, for those of you who are into traditional Norwegian food, we'd have risengryt, which is like a rice pudding, but that doesn't do it justice because it's freaking delicious. So you have it before your dinner, and you put a little bit of butter and cinnamon and sugar on it, and it's so freaking delicious. And then the key is you put a nut in one of the bowls. And whoever gets the nut gets a prize, usually like a big chocolate Santa, or, it can be whatever. And if there's a group of kids and a group of adults, you usually have a nut for each group. And so we had this traditional Christmas dinner, or Norwegian Christmas dinner. And then after dinner, that's when you open the presents. You don't open them Christmas morning like we do here in the States. In fact, we've mixed our traditions together because my wife is from California. I'm from Norway, and we kind of do a bit of both. And she's amazing. She makes Norwegian Christmas Eve dinner. She does risengryt, and she's good at it too. It's delicious. And hey, you're gonna knock my camera over, Espeland. Hey, And yeah, so after dinner, kind of clean up a little bit, and that's when we open our presents. And the key was, as kids, once we opened our presents, which was exciting, we got to play with them as long as we wanted. If we went till 2 in the morning, that was okay. Skål. And it was so much fun. I have such fond memories growing up of Christmas. But I remember one year, I'm kind of doing a U-turn here, but I'll get back to Norway. I remember one year my dad had to work Christmas Eve. And I was probably, I'm guessing 9, 10 years old, somewhere in there. And so we did the traditional Canadian, we were in Canada, American, open stuff Christmas morning. Hey, plastic. So, you know, Christmas Eve came and we must have had dinner, but my dad wasn't there. And then it was like, oh, this sucks. We don't get to open our presents. Excuse me. So we went to bed and we woke up the next morning and opened presents, which was exciting. But once the presents were opened, the luster was not there because we, you know, were used to opening them Christmas Eve and just being able to stay up as late as we wanted, which didn't happen the rest of the year. We had very strict bedtimes. My mom was very strict with bedtimes. So it was a special treat. So opening them Christmas morning, it just didn't feel right to me. And, you know, I've gotten used to it, obviously, 60 years later, 50 years later. But I still always loved the Christmas Eve thing. So back to Norway. So we're there for Christmas, 1975. And I mentioned that outside my grandma's house is a little hill that runs down to this creek. And me, my brother Leif, and my brother Trond, Leif og meg, we got sleds, little toboggans, not toboggans, but sleds for my grandma. And it happened to snow Christmas Eve. And so she had this house that I can smell it, I can feel it, just, it has such a feel to it. And the kids all slept downstairs. There were 3 or 4 bedrooms downstairs, but they had these big windows. And so we could look out the windows. And I remember we went to bed Christmas Eve and it was snowing. And we were just so damn excited because we had these sleds. Now, I wanted to go out right then. But my brother Trond, who was always the one that would wake up at like 3 in the morning and try to wake everybody to open presents on the 24th, open stockings, not presents, but also when we did it on Christmas Day, he woke us up at 4 in the morning. But we basically got up at the crack of dawn, which I don't know what that was in the middle of winter. It probably wasn't real early, 7:30, 8 o'clock, whatever it was. And we went sledding, and we played for hours. I've got a lot of fond memories with my brothers. We're still all close. One brother lives in Salt Lake City, so he's close. We just had them for Thanksgiving, and then we went up there Sunday and had a white elephant gift exchange with my parents, and we always have a blast with them. And then I have three brothers that live in Canada, and I had a brother that passed away many, many years ago as a baby. So there were 6 brothers and a sister, and we go up to Canada every summer. And I always love visiting my brothers. But it was such an amazing memory of Christmas. And when I think of Christmas, that's the first thing that comes to my mind now is Norway and all the traditions. And, you know, being gone from there for so long. I did mention that I lived in Norway in the 80s for a year and a half as well. So I was there for Christmas 1983. Wasn't the same. But, you know, it was just me there. It wasn't all my family. And so we did go to some people's house, and it was nice, and it was pleasant. And Norwegians know how to celebrate Christmas, and it was a lot of fun. And so anyway, that's my little story about Christmas, family. I hope y'all had a fantastic Thanksgiving. I do have a kind of a... for my next video, maybe, I'm trying to get this together because I am still very much a neophyte when it comes to technology. And I've discovered this new group. I've mentioned many times that I'm into Viking history and Viking heritage. And I know, blah, blah, blah. Viking was a job description, not a person. Let's agree to disagree. I don't agree with you, but that's okay. I've studied it a lot, and I get both sides, and that's okay. I will never tell somebody they're wrong. I just have a different opinion. Anyway, I'm very into Viking history and culture and heritage. Our Etsy store focuses a lot on Viking stuff and Viking quotes and a lot of Norwegian stuff too. But I discovered my cousin Tom sent me a video last week of this group. I think they're called the Miracle of Sound, but the song was called Valhalla Calling. And I believe the video is set in Norway. The lead singer is Irish, but he's very into the Viking stuff. I guess he does a lot of video game stuff and songs based on video games, but he got into the Viking thing a little bit, and he's done several songs. There's one called Skål. I have to play it. So I am trying to figure out, I have a clip from that video, but I got to figure out how to download it so that I can put it on this video, put a little clip in the middle. I really dig it. It's got this, I guess it's kind of hard rock. I don't think I'd go as far as calling it hard metal. You know, Norwegian metal is a thing, and it's not really my thing. But I love this song, and I love Skål too. Had a really cool, if you've ever seen the movie or the TV series Vikings, it has that feel to it. I think they might even have some clips from that in there. And it's just got a really cool feel to it. It's hard and edgy, but you can understand it. They sing it in English. And I'm going to put a little clip of that in hopefully my next video. Talk a little bit about Viking history, because I've been promising to do that for like a year. And one of these times I'm going to get into it. I've said it many times. I come at Viking culture and history from a point of view of I know there was bad shit that happened with the Vikings, just like every group of people in history. But they also did a lot of good, and there was a lot of culture and heritage there that's fun to explore. I don't come at it from the point of view of some people who have taken, symbols like Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, and turned it into something which in my opinion is not good. And I'm not going to go into detail on that, because I try to stay on the positive side of things. So we will talk about that. I always forget to do this at the beginning of the video, but if you've gotten this far, then you must like it somewhat. Some of you probably turned it off by now, but please give me a thumbs up and a subscription, and you'll get notifications when my new videos come out. And I'm building up VikingHeartLife.com, VikingHeartLife.com, all one word. And I also have a Facebook page that I'm trying to convert to that same name. Right now it's Facebook.com/VikingHeart63. 63, the year I was born. I don't know why I didn't come up with a better name when I started it. I didn't really have any great ambition to do anything with it at that time, but I do now. I want to build something, and I really enjoy talking about this stuff. Hopefully you guys dig hearing about it. Please leave me comments, suggestions, whatever you want. It's Friday, December 1st. Holy shit, the year has just flown by. My 60th birthday is coming up in a few days, which blows my mind. In my head, I'm still 28. I can't even comprehend that. I'm heading to Phoenix, Arizona next week for a job, and then hopefully home by the 14th or 15th, and that'll be the end of my work year. And then I'm hoping to retire 1 year from now. Fingers crossed. Anyway, I hope you all have a great weekend, great Christmas season. I'm hoping to do another video or two before Christmas. Maybe I'll do another video. I did one last year on Christmas, Norwegian Christmas, which this kind of was about that, but kind of get into the traditions a little bit more and some of the songs and things like that. So anyway, I hope you all have just a great weekend, holiday season. Merry Christmas, God Jul. Tack för allt. Og til neste gang vi snakkes. Thank you for everything, and we will talk again soon. And by the way, if you want me to throw more Norwegian into this video, and I'll always try to remember to translate what I'm saying. I'm not perfect with Norwegian. I speak it reasonably well, and I'd be happy to do that if that's something people want. So anyway, Espen, hva er det du gjør for noe? So anyway, cheers, skål, digg y'all.